Hello everyone! Day 6 has arrived. These days, 6 days in now, I'm doing really well with these backgrounds. Whether I run out of ideas before the end of January, I have no idea. But thank you everyone for keeping up so far. So today, this is called Bubbles Galore. It's just basically a simple bubble technique on the stippling background that I did on day 5, which was this one. So not the bokeh part, but the bit I did beforehand is exactly how I did that section. So I didn't think I needed to show it all again. So this is a very simple bubble background, just called Bubble Galore as I'm calling it. It's got big bubbles, middle-sized bubbles, little bubbles, and it's just like a floating bubble scene. I know I've done these on my channels before, but it needs to be in the background series, so that's what we're going to do. So let me just brighten it up again because it seems a bit dark again. I don't know what is going on with the lighting in here. So let's just pull that, brighten it up a bit. And let's just get that a bit clearer of a zoom. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pull this closer in, bring this forward, and let's get that on a nice, let's get this looking good. I'm sorry everyone, have to do my zoom manually because my camera's very temperamental. Just pull this a bit more. This goes all weird. Just trying to get it to make everyone's eyes go funky because it's making the lines go all weird. I'm just trying to see if I can get it on autofocus. The autofocus is so bizarre. Okay, I think we've got, it's a decent, that'll, I think that's as much as we're going to get. It's making things look a bit strange, but so we're going to get out my trusty circle sheet. This was just off some card making thing. It had a form at the back. I can't remember the actual name, what you use for it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do some random big ones. I'm using my Prisma white. I'm just going to give it a nice sharpen just so I've got a really decent point. And I'm just going to put random circles in. Not as white as I would like it to be. I don't know if that's anything to do with the ink I've used. So you'll be able to implement this technique on any. Try to not make them too uniform because that will look weird. So then let's do some this size. So I have done these in the Wales sheet before. So if you want to see them on a coloured page, head on over to my live streams and it's the Kirby Rosanne's. No, it's not actually, that's not the same bubble. Let me think, what have I done? I don't think I've actually done bubbles like this actually on the channel. So ignore that last comment. So I don't think you can see these yet, but let me just pull this up a bit closer. You should be able to see the circles that I'm putting in. So you'll see it much better once I start. It's just weird because I need to get a good white and I don't want to use all my Holbein because I've only got a tiny little bit of it left. And I've got a few things I want to use that for in this hashtag. So I'm just going to put these in a random so they're not so uniform. And then let's do some little ones everywhere now. Why we call it bubbles galore. So I've done every size I think on here. I have done a bubble technique on black background if you want to see that. They're more like the rainbow effect bubbles. It's clawed away at that. That's so funny. Look what he's done to the end of my tape. Okay, do we need any more smaller ones? I think we do. And it's going to be quick and simple technique. So you're going to go around each one so you can see what we've filled there. So right there are my lines. So this is where I'm going to get my Holbein. And I'm going to pick up each one. Hopefully this has shown up white everywhere else I've done it, so I'm hoping it's going to do it in here. I don't think it's going to do it. I don't think you're going to be able to see it. It's coming up grey and I don't understand why it's coming out grey. Very, very weird indeed. So each one of these get some colours on it. It's getting near there. So I've used aging blue and sapphire, sky blue and sapphire blue. I'm just going to come in with this. I'm just hoping that this starts looking like I'm wanting to. Back in with that aging blue. All you're doing is emphasising what's underneath in the middle of them. I'll just sharpen that because I don't like how blunt that edge is. I'm just blending each of the colours in. And this can be implemented into any kind of background. And then I'm going to get my white Arteza pen, the 1.01. And then up here, I'll just get it started actually, because sometimes the non-starters, I'm going to put a little triangle or rectangle, not triangle. It's not nowhere near a rectangle. And I was hoping that this white Holbein would have gone a lot whiter than it has. I didn't want to have to put a white edge on, so maybe this would be better over. I'll just try. Yeah, this would have been better over marker, more than likely. So what I'm going to do is just, in fact, we'll get the smaller one, the 1.6. Get that going. I'm just going to come round there with that. Follow the edge that I've done. I think I might be scrapping this video if it doesn't start picking up. I don't understand. I'm retracting. I'm going to retract my video or do an updated video, because these are meant to be continuous flow gel pens, and they really aren't, unless I've got a really dodgy version of them. So whilst that's still wet, because I don't want a harsh edge, I'm just going to get a dry brush. Hopefully I'm not too late. I'm going to rub it out a bit. I don't want the edge so noticeable, if that makes sense. The underwater bubbles. Okay, the next one, we're all going to have a little square on, all in the same direction. Get the sky blue on this one. I'm just going to blend that line out. And then put a bit of the sapphire blue just in the middle. And this time we're going to use the 0.6, but I'm going to get my brush ready. And I'm going to kind of do a little bit of a line first. I'm going to try and... These are ridiculous, honestly. I must have a bad batch. I'll just try and get it going a bit like this. Let's try this one. We'll get it, the ink coming out a bit. And then brushing it out with my brush. Brush it out with the brush. I'm just saying brush it out 20 million times. So I'm not going to go all the way around. I don't think it's needed. But what I do need is my pen to start working properly. And not hit my camera with my art materials. So I'm going to keep my lid on them, because I don't know if it's that much drying them out. And I'm not resorting to spit. So, but they're now doing what I want. So the Holbein white, Not too sure if that's any different to the Prisma white, so let me try just using the Prisma white. So all we're doing is kind of like, what's the right word for it? Mushing the edge of the bubble so they kind of pop out from the water, so they're not invisible, but they're not really defined either. So this one I am going to use the Aging Blue, probably pronouncing that wrong, but no doubt, because this one fades off into the background. I'm not going to use too much of that. Then the Sapphire Blue here. I was hoping to not have to do this because this was the reason I put the stippled ink background on there, because I wanted to use what I've got there and not have to add the colours in as well. But I am just picking up where I've stippled it, I am just picking up that same kind of cast. And the other balls I think will be alright. So white gel pen. I'm just going to stick with this side, I think. A bit bigger than I like working with, but brush. That's just softening the edge, so the edge is still there, but it's softening. But it's enough. See, we're not working again. It's not just the if it was just one pen, this it would make me think, oh yeah, but it's all of them. Let's pull it out. You're just forming bubbles with what you've got. Again, quick and simple. Now let me just try this one without actually using any pencil in the middle of this, because this one's got quite a bit of colour in it. Let's just put the white pencil in, fade the edge out. I wanted it to look whiter, so that's why I've been adding the colour. But for whatever reason, the ink's making it look grey. But it might still work. You see the bubble appearing. Let's do this one without adding any colour in with the pencil and see if it looks the same. If we need to be adding get the brush again. I keep dropping everything off my desk. There we go. That's actually worked. Let me put these over here. Grab my pencil off the floor. It's actually gone in my Looks great. Oh. That sounded like horrible pencil abuse there, throwing my pencil. So we'll have to turn these. I do apologise. Back of my hand's going to leave well, full of white. I'll brush that out. Hopefully I'm close enough that you can see what I'm doing. Turn. So these are what I call my underwater bubbles. So I'm doing, in this one, there's going to be a couple of days worth of bubbles. So this is the first one. And then there's going to be the glowing one. So I'm going to do some bubbles that have got, well, they look fizzy. I can't say any other than that, with a glow that runs through them. And then the last ones are just water filled ones without anything in the background, which that is the one that I did on my whales one. Now there we go, that's the effect I was after. So we don't need to put the pencils in, so we'll ditch the pencils because it is giving me what I want. So we're just going to use the white pencil like I wanted, and just again we're going all the way around the lines that I've put in. You can see them a little bit, but you can see all them bubbles that I've used or pre-drawn in. I've never known her to be in a Prisma pencil lead before. Pigment, whatever you want to call that bit. Fade it out into that blue. I'm just going to come slightly further out with the that. Should have my brush ready because it keeps going down this groove. Just brush your Arteza pen. You should be able to do this with any gel pen you've got. And this will just whiten up that edge and make it come to life. And you're just using, you put in your circles, it doesn't matter so long as you've done that stippled background, you'll get these effects in the bubbles. I might do the odd one a bit brighter like that with the pencils, just so some look closer than others and some look further back than others. I honestly don't know why I've been such a background phobe, because I've not been, I think it's the time it takes, and I've not actually sat and studied some backgrounds that I can do that don't take forever. So this has kind of made me sit back and look at what I can do with backgrounds without it being too in your face. For that, I just go into the smush that you've done with your Prismacolor pencil. So find your next one. So I've got one here, a little one. And make sure you do your little square that you're putting in there going up. So it's like up, and 2 upside down smiles and a line either side. Then I'm going to come this way and pull it out from this side. Now I'm just using a little flat brush. But your aim is for them to be not invisible, but my aim is that they're under the water and they've not got, they've been created by a fish or, you know, blowing her out. So they're not meant to be in your face bubbles, if that makes sense. Let me try and get this one a bit better. Just looks too liney for me. And just brush your edge out. It looks much better there. So can you see them now? Starting to look great little bubbles. And there's another tiny little one here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to fill the edge out first. I'm not doing the Prismacolor with that one because they're just too small these. So I'm just going to go around them. Might be more just like little white balls then. Prismacolor on this one because it's big enough. Just ever so slightly. Pen on. Flick it out. So most of these backgrounds that I'm doing them for the first time with you. So we are literally doing this together. The bamboo, I'd only done that first time. I drew it out on the little creative background sheets and then did it on in the book. So we're all learning as we go. And just soften that edge off again. And I do like how they're coming out. So upside down smile, join the sides, colour in. And I'm keeping them all going the same way. So we've got a little circle one here. I'm just going to smush them out. Like so. And another little circle one here. I'm not in shot for that one. And just pull it out again. You probably do with a smaller brush for them ones. And then once I've done the majority of these, I'll see if we need to put any more. I'm going to do some hand-drawn round ones as well. Some little ones, smaller than this. My computer's doing a mad one then. And all the smushing is for basically with your brushes, because you want to just take that fine edge off. Let's do all these little ones. I keep hitting my brush because my brush is that tall. Hitting my camera, should I say. So this one is going to be a big one. So again, it's hard to see what I've drawn, but obviously when you do it, if you're doing it this way, so you want to know how to do the background, you need to watch day 5. And then once you've watched day 5, you'll know how to do the stippling with ink. I was supposed to put my Prismacolor in this and I haven't. Doesn't matter. See how it looks. Might not need to. We could just work with the Arteza pen. No, it doesn't. To me, it doesn't look as good. So I'm just going to go back in with my Prismacolor. And blend that edge in. It needs to be done purely so this section here stands out that bit more. Ideally, I'd have it whiter than this, but like I said, it's the first time I've done it on the ink pad, and it's making it go grey for whatever reason. It's going grey. This is a perfect example of what I mean by it's not constantly coming out. It's making this ball look a mess because it's only coming out when it feels like coming out. Oops. The next video will be similar to this, but it will show, I'm going to do a glow coming through and it'll be a different background. I put upside down smile, upside down smile. Prismacolor. Not far off, we're nearly done now. Oh, this pen. I don't know why the Coronation Street thing's coming into my head to sing, but here, well. Upside down smile. Everyone who knows me knows I love the bubbles. Got to love the bubbles. Right, let's start this one. Prismacolor. Brush it out. The quicker you can get to brushing it out, the better. That's why I'm only doing it a little bit at a time on the bigger ones. Trying to not make it go out of shot. So our aim is just to have a bit of that colour peeking out. And then a little upside down smile, just a little one in that one. I have a little bobble here. And work that one in. And put a little highlight on there. A little bit on this one. Come on, pen. I don't know if I like it more with adding the pencil in, but that's having to defeat the object though, isn't it? You're supposed to be just using... Can be talking to myself, like talking myself out of it. Like I shouldn't have used the pencil in now. It's looking a bit too white, just keep rubbing it with your bristles and it'll soften. I'm just going around the outside of this one. But I'm just looking at these, and you could have this as underwater bubbles. You could have this as, you know, like you've got a nice summery flowery background. And this could be sky and someone's just blown bubbles. To make them look more soapy, just add a bit of pinks and greens and blue in there somewhere. That's not making, there's not enough laid down on that. It's like it's really dried up. It's having none of it. I mean, if I wanted to, I could wet it. I don't really want to wet it. Why is it not doing what I want it to do? Such a temperamental pen. Oh my gosh. My hand is more covered in white pen. Look at that. I'm playing on the is it Among Us or something like that? They're playing downstairs and they're getting so excited. One's a funky shape, this one. Upside down smile. It's making me do an upside down smile on my actual face. My pen is just not working how I want it to. I'm just currently making the light sauce stay on that side. Hey, I've just used it on that and it's just don't know if anybody else is having this same issue with these pens. If you are, please let me know in the comments below, and it's not just me, or have I got a dodgy set that I need to return, because this is driving me up the wall. They're meant to be like continuous flow, and when I first got them, don't get me wrong, there was a continuous flow. There isn't at the minute. I give this a lick. Good old spit. It'll soon dry back up. Gosh, it helped the whole of England having to go on lockdown. So all remote learning for the kids. Oh, this is driving me up the wall, this now with this. I'm changing my pen. This one's probably going to be no different. Get some wet on there. So yeah, this one first. This is even worse. See, I could understand if it was just one pen, but it's all of them. It's not even just one pen. It's actually hurting my skin now, rolling the ball around on my skin. So I'm sorry, Arteza, but these pens are certainly not. You can see how strong they were here compared to moving up. But look at that, it's coming out there, and it's not coming out on there. Oh, it's driving me nuts. It's the small one. I have horrible scratches all over my hand tomorrow. Let's start coming out, so let's get the brush. They're not empty. They're most definitely not empty. This is just not coming out. So frustrating. I could roll around on that paper. Let's see what comes out. But anyway, hopefully you have more success with your gel pen than what I'm having. But I really thought I'd found a pen that would work. Nope. Okay, all I'm going to do is just take this Arteza Sapphire Blue, and in some areas I'm just going to grab like a little darker spot in them, just for a tiny bit of contrast. I'm not doing it to anything, it's just I want to add a bit of, I like how that dark effect is in there with that one, but I don't want it to be too much hard work, so I'm just going to add it in here. And there's loads of backgrounds, especially Joanna Basford books. These background bubbles could go in, especially Lost Ocean. But I just love how this looks like a sky more than it looks underwater. So this could be a really good summer's day bubbles galore. So I'm just going to get my one and do some little ones at random around here. And just building the little ones up that maybe have already floated off and they're just in the very distant tiny little round ones that haven't popped. Do some over the top of some of these. And this helps if you want to use it for underwater. You know, you could add some more to it. But there you have it, the baubles galore. I'll just show you an example of something you could use it in. Where's my Lost Ocean? So, for example, fish with there is a page in here that it would look good on. So yeah, this page has got the bubbles starting off. You could do the whole of that background with the stipple effect with the premium ink pads. You put that effect all along here, all along there, and just do bubbles either side of it like it's a floating piece of, see, or that's on the seabed creating these bubbles coming off it. You know, there's lots of things you could do. You could do sand colour in between here and then fade it off into your blue stippled background. So hope you've enjoyed that one. So that's day 6. And then day 7 is going to be the glowing baubles, I've said bubbles. Where I'm going to do some rays coming through the water and some broken down bubbles, so they'll be slightly different, these ones. So stick with it. That's for day 7. So thanks everyone for following along on this one. This one's a bit more painstaking with that white pen and my hands covered in it, but it does work really well. And day 8 I'm just going to do the water filled bubbles, so you'll be building them up. There'll be no white, you'll be building them up with pencil. I did it a long time ago on my Wales video, which is probably about a year ago today. So that'll be nice to revisit that, and I'm going to do that on a colouring page. I've picked a colouring page I'm going to use it on, that I want to start, so it will become a whip when I've done it, but I'll be doing the background first, which will be, I'll show you which ones I'm doing. I don't normally do this, but I like giving a sneak peek. So this will be day 8, because that's day 6, and then day 7, so this one will be day 8, and it's this one. And the bubbles I'll be doing on it are going to be the ones that I did in the Wales, which were these ones. I'll be showing you how I did them. So it's 3 versions of bubbles, like a bit of a mini bubble series within the background, but everyone loves a bubble. So, and Shell's notorious for my bubbles and my screen cards with my bubbles on, so Shell has to put bubbles in. So that'll be on day 8, this one, and I'll do that actually in the colouring book. But for now, that's day 6 done, and I'll see you on day 7. Bye everyone.